Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of MDC, our colleagues, and all members of the press. I just really feel honored by your presence because it has been 2 years before I've been before a press, or more than 2 years before I've been before a press. So it's important that you realize the importance of this interaction. I'll first of all dwell on the introduction before I read my press statement. The introduction of this matter comes with a court judgment, which I think most of the media houses have gone through. But I want to particularly make a point on what the declarator was all about. This is I will read as per the court judgment. This is an application for a declarator order on the main relief in terms of Section 14 of the High Court. For the court to declare purported National Congress held in December 2022 by the second respondent, who is Douglas Mwonzora, as the National Congress of the first respondent, which is MDC T, null and void, and for non-compliance with the first respondent's constitution. The main application here, but this was in 2002. That is when we made this application. The applicants are also seeking consequential relief in that a fresh Congress be held within 6 months of granting of this order under an independent election commission established in terms of the first respondent's constitution. What it means is that we need all MDC members, the old and the new, to wake up and realize that their party can only be resuscitated by taking this declarator. The declarator, as per the order which I shall read, the page of the declarator is missing. No. Pane page is missing. That's a copy. Okay, I have it on my phone. Check on phone. I just wanted to say the orders given are one that the declarator was granted, which means the granting of the declarator means us performing those fundamental issues of doing a Congress within 6 months. And the second order, which is written on, is that just hold on. Right. You can take it from the order. It's all over. It says the application of the declarator be and is hereby granted. That means we're granted permission to do the 6 months, the elections in 6 months, and look for our structures from ward to province and to a national congress. Then the purported National Congress held in December 2022 by the second respondent as the National Congress of the first respondent be and is hereby declared null and void for non-compliance with the first respondent's constitution. That means whom Douglas Mwonzora as president, he didn't comply with the constitution, and the Congress he did, which is known by everybody, that it was a sham. Anyone who was in the MDC knows he didn't do a Congress. It was a few hours. And I think you journalists, you know it is not a normal Congress. Any Congress cannot last hours. It can be days because there's a lot to review and do. So it has been declared null and void, and we we say to MDC members, this is an opportunity for all MDC members, for all Zimbabweans who loved their party, MDC, to come and achieve the best out of this outcome. The other order is about payment. If we understand this, then I go to the next thing. I just want to take you to the Constitution. Clause 9 of the Constitution says the president, this is the MDC Constitution, the president is the leader and chief principal officer of the party and ultimately accountable to the National Council and Congress for the vision, strategy, commissions and omissions of the party subject to this Constitution. It shall be the duty of the president to uphold and defend the party's constitution. Now, what it means is that the president of the party, who is Douglas Mwonzora, has failed to uphold this constitution, which renders him almost impossible to run any Congress that is forthcoming. It renders impossible to run the party, because by this declarator, it means the party has been leaderless from 2022 to today. Even the press conference he held yesterday, he had to call in his, what he calls his standing committee. That standing committee becomes null and void. And in law they say nothing stands on nothing. Something has to stand on something. So it falls. And what we fall to is an election of 2022, which was another sham which we didn't contest, but it was what we would call, what was it? No, the one where we replaced the president on. The EOC. When we did the EOC, we had a lot of complaints, but we said, let's build together and we follow one person and we keep MDC going. Unfortunately, that's when we saw all the machinations. And when the time came for elections in 2021, 2021, it was due after the expiry of the term of the incumbent president who takes over from the late president, was ending in 2021. We couldn't have a Congress because we failed to do structures. And the duty of me as the vice president was to advise and do whatever is the best. I'll read the vice president's duties later. When he didn't do anything, we actually had a fracas, to the extent that we insisted that we should have a Congress, but we should do structures. Today, it's evident countrywide that the MDC party is not known anymore. It's not seen anymore. We couldn't have structures. And this is why we went to court to say we need to go and start and do structures from ward, district, province, and finally the national body. Mwonzora wouldn't listen to this. So from this explanation, to anyone who is really interested in an organization and in any legitimacy for Mwonzora as president, will tell you that you cannot continue to lead an organization when you have failed to uphold the same constitution that you should protect. So to me, as the vice president of that time, it falls on me because I directly challenged him. If you can see, I had to challenge the president because he was stubborn and he refused to follow the law, and we couldn't attend the Congress because everything that he had done was out of the rule of law within our constitution. we had to quote the Chairman Morgan Komichi, who is in agreement that the president was in breach, but he was forced to be at the Congress. Maybe he will speak for himself after the Congress. Then Paulina Gwanyanya was the Secretary General. It's rude for a war president who represents the People's Party to go on a press conference and say ZANU PF has interfered, people in ZANU have come in. People have moved away because the party was destroyed. It doesn't need a rocket scientist to know that it is the president who has literally failed everybody. And the man has no respect out there. But he wants to insist to head the party. In that case, when he insists to head the party, the members must take over. The legitimacy remains with the members, and the members must take over and go and take over even Harvest House and say, this is our building. It's not Mwonzora, it's not mine. Leaders must go, the political party must remain. I'm sorry to say, it's unfortunate that if you walk into Harvest House, you find it is all being rented out. It is like people in MDs are all dead. Everything went with Morgan Tsvangirai. It is unfortunate that this man must be telling in his grave that all the years, over 20 years of sacrifice have gone to nothing. But it's not his. The party belongs to the people of Zimbabwe. And with this press statement, we are trying to invite all Zimbabweans, all stakeholders, all members of MDC who have been in it, all members who want to join MDC T, to go and form structures and make sure that we rebuild the party in the next 6 months. Why we came here to do this press conference? We found the place locked. We wanted to do it in town, we wanted to do it in Harvest House, but the place is locked. And from listening to other advices, they said, look, if you do it outside and you get attacked, you might not be able to rescue yourselves. So we had a bit of a confusion. Some people coming to Harvest House and there were Monyas there and they couldn't come. So I apologize to any confusion that came to the journalists. But to be honest with you, it was because we wanted to do this press statement at Harvest House. And it's a call on Douglas Mwonzora to step down rather than make people confront him, because he cannot continue to lead this declarator's demand. I as vice, according to this constitution, even if I'm almost not there because of what has happened, something has to fall on something. And as the vice, I should take over from him because he is not there. He has failed to uphold the party constitution. And I call upon all members to respect that. We are going to form a committee that should run. Remember that from 2014 to date, we have not been running on a, no, not 2014, 2017. We have not been running a proper party business. So we need some reasonable caretaker institution, then appoint an independent electoral body to oversee resuscitation of the party. That's why you see we have written the restoration of MDC. And we want everyone to come with us and make sure that we restore our party to where it is. Now, I'll go down to my press release, which I will read for the benefit of those. But I think my introduction almost summarizes my press release. We stand here today at the cusp of a new era for our beloved party, MDC T. The recent court judgment has vindicated our stance that the actions of Douglas Mwonzora were unconstitutional and illegitimate. Everyone can see that his leadership has been marked by gross mismanagement, selfish interests, and blatant disregard for the party's constitution. Under Mwonzora's leadership, our party has been reduced to a shadow of its former self. In everyone's eyes, Douglas Mwonzora lost the integrity to lead a national week of people's movement and is equal to being swept away by the bursting revolutionary current. The once vibrant opposition party has been plagued by infighting, disorganization, and a lack of clear direction. Many of our loyal supporters have become disheartened, and our party's reputation has suffered greatly. The MDC is not a Mickey Mouse institution where nothing really matters. The financial mismanagement under Douglas Mwonzora's leadership has been staggering. Party employees have gone without wages for months, and bills have been left unpaid. This is a clear indication from Mwonzora's selfish interest, which prioritizes his own personal gain over the well-being of the party and its members. Here we shall appeal to all members to start realizing that to wake up this place, we need donors, we need friends to help us clear this. Taking over from Mwonzora means taking over a huge debt and a very dirty harvest house, which has not been cleaned for years with so many bills to pay. So we are asking members to take over the whole party and run it. Furthermore, Mwonzora's actions have been driven by a desire to cling to power and control the party's assets for his own benefit. His focus has not been on the national goal of freeing Zimbabwe from the shackles of authoritarianism, but rather on enriching himself and his cronies. Surely, you can see that last election, we didn't score even one seat after being the biggest opposition party in the country. It's a shame that we can talk of ourselves as a party. But under his leadership, he's not even ashamed. After talking that the next counting of elections, you will see there, Mwonzora, then ra. I don't know where the ra went last election. And he is still talking on television to say he remains a president. But we say enough is enough as MDC members. We will not stand idly by while our party is destroyed by selfish interests and poor leadership. We will take immediate action to reclaim our party's properties and assets, including our headquarters and all other facilities. We will also assert our rightful claim to the party's name and symbol as enshrined in our constitution. The mandate is reverted back to the owners of the party, the members. I am here to work with the members as a member to make sure that we deliver the old MDC. Our roadmap to legitimacy. As the acting president of this party leadership, we will be announcing an interim management team to lead our party. The interim team will fill the vacuum. The team will oversee the preparation of fresh elections, which will be conducted by an independent electoral commission to ensure their legitimacy and transparency. The MDC has always had its social base in the national working people and the democratic movement. The party must revert to its social base, institutions, and procedures that make its inner structures legitimate. You cannot ghost those institutions, procedures, and social base and still remain legitimate. This is what Mwonzora has done. He has ghosted everything, and he remains a ghost. As we embark on this new chapter, we recognize the importance of mobilizing and organizing. We call upon all interested members to establish and join party structures in your respective wards, districts, province, ensuring that our presence is visible and felt across the country. We will form structures all over the country from ward level to provincial level in preparation for a legitimate Congress. This Congress will be a milestone in our journey to reclaim our democratic values and ensure that the party truly belongs to its membership. We emphasize that the MDC T is not an individual entity, but a people's entity, a movement that transcends individuals' interests, but it is rooted in the collective aspirations and vision of our members. Let us work together to build a united front against our common enemies and restore our great party. The MDC is a people-driven party, and it shall continue to serve its mandate with integrity and transparency. We are committed to resuscitating and restoring our party to its former glory, respecting the sacrosanct values and principles of our party constitution. We invite all people and stakeholders with an attachment to the MDC party to join the democratic train. We will work together, reconciling our differences and uniting the people. Together we can achieve greatness and reclaim our rightful place as the champions of democracy and freedom in Zimbabwe. We look forward to this new chapter in our party's history and invite all stakeholders to join us in this journey towards a brighter future. Just to expand on that, we mean that my job and my colleagues' job is to make sure that we allow people to choose their leadership. The party is an institution that doesn't have an individual owning it. I can pass tomorrow. I want all of you and all Zimbabweans to maintain the legitimacy of MDC and the democratic tenets which we find in our founding values. If we cannot process our elections through the values of MDC, we should pick up our bags and leave politics. There is no need to criticize ZANU if we cannot do the very thing we criticize it for. We must stop what we think it is done wrong and do what we think we can do right. So I want to call upon the nation and all sponsors out there, those who feel they have an attachment, to help us. And with this, I think I end my press statement and maybe wait for questions and answers.
Right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are at that particular phase where you, the journalists, can ask any questions that you want to the panel. Feel free to ask. Let's give each other chances to relate our questions to the leaders. Thank you. Questions and answers. Questions and answers, please. Members of the press, questions and answers.
Maybe they have nothing. They are happy or they are not happy. Are you okay?
Oh, fine. Well, given that no one is willing or has the right questions to ask or any questions to ask, I think we now need to get to that point where we can envelope this event. But I really felt like there was so much the press could respond to, ask our leaders to respond to. But anyway, so far, well, we thank you. Not knowing.
I'm Philip Gomba. I would like to ask Mr. President, our interim president, and our chairman, Mr. Komichi, seeing as it has been that the MDC was once a vibrant party, united, and with good values and principles, how are we going to work through the murky waters that has been created as we have been passing through? Seeing it as it is now that we've got other formations that came out of the MDC. Because with this thing, it's all about the people. It's not about any of us. As it's a people project, I hope this is the time now that we need, like what the president has been saying in his press conference, to all come together and work together so that we restore the MDC to its founding values and principles. How are we going to engage the other players so that we can turn around this country that needs salvation? Thank you.
This is a press conference. It's for journalists, not for members. I think we can have a separate. I'm talking to Alison. This is for journalists, not for members.
Journalists.
Okay.
You are the one to appoint one on top.
Please go ahead.
Right, I'm Desire Chuma from the Observers.
So,
Desire Chuma, Observers.
okay.
I just want to know, how are you going to embrace other leaders who moved out of the original MDC?
We are not going to look for leaders. This party is for members. We are looking for members. If a leader wants, we can talk to a leader. We are asking members to embrace their party. Then they choose leaders. They can even throw me away if they think I'm not a good leader. They can throw us away. What they need is to choose good leaders that will run MDC according to its founding principles. So we are going to talk to all the leaders who are willing, and we are giving them a week. Actually, I forgot something. We are giving members who want to come to the fore to talk to us. We'll give them numbers, how to connect us. We will work from here until we get to Harvest House. We'll get to Harvest House with time and make sure that we start doing structures. And anyone who wants to do it, who feels that he wants to resuscitate MDC, must come. And I said, all they knew. That party is not about leaders. If you want to know, Boris Johnson was removed from prime minister by his own party. What more with these small leaders where they've not even achieved the prime minister level? The party must be able to remove a leader who has failed to run an institution. That is an institution. Just tell them. Right. That is the purpose of the members. And that's why if we don't have structures, you don't have anything. So no one can remove you. So the structures first. And we are asking people to make those structures from where they are, with the vision of saying, these are the founding values. We're using this constitution. Then they choose their leadership. And I'm here as honestly, I've been advised by Morgan to say, I'm just answering you, look, it's important to embrace our social values. Tine social values, tine culture. We must always bring those things to bring us together. A people with no culture, and the culture is just an understanding. Even Maria Tosha is an understanding. If you want to go deep into philosophy.
My last question.
Yes.
Okay, as we are resuscitating MDC, we are seeing the economic meltdown in the country. How are you going to address this challenge of the economy? The challenge of corruption. We are seeing a lot of corruption. We are seeing a lot of things that are happening in the country. Please give a chance that we are going to be a successful leader of this MDC that we are restoring. How are we going to address those challenges?
Actually, to become a strong opposition or running, we must be, to be an opposition is strong. We must be an alternative government. If you want to know, when we used to be together, I have written so many policies on the economy and others. You have to consult and do work with other professionals and make sure that you cure the ills of the economy, if it's about the economy. The corruption stands with the head of any institution. The head of any institution must stop the corruption. Unfortunately, corruption is cascaded to the lowest level, and it's cheap corruption. It must be stopped by the person at the top. By using the next top person must stop the next person. It's a character. There must be zero tolerance to corruption. We must work on that, and we must not allow it to happen. This country is too rich for us to complain about failure to get money. But it's the greediness of our politicians that makes us fail to get anything. And also the business people themselves have become so greedy that they don't allow anything to cascade down to the other people. There's no social entrepreneurship in this country. So we want to change that. We bring the values that take charge of everyone. We are social democrats. And social democratic tenets will ask us to put safety nets to the poor, to the average man, and take care of everyone, the old, the young, and the sick. There must be safety nets, which are lacking. If you go to a hospital and you find out for mazuva to bada, you see that person is not. There must be a safety net of even assessing the capacity of a person to do something. The government has a duty to help that person because he belongs to the country. Even on land equity, every person deserves a piece of land. We have enough land to give everyone. But some people have got 10 pieces of land. Right now, the government owns the land, isn't it? Everyone needs a piece of land. But it has different needs. There is some for economic needs. There is some for home use. Everyone deserves a stand, somewhere to live. So all of those things must be done. Land is available. You can give it free for everyone who is too poor to get somewhere to sleep, like what is done in villages. But you have somewhere to stay. But that must be the same with the human beings here, and also be able to have a standard life, a reasonable standard life. That can only be done by a person who sees these people like people. Lee Kuan Yew did it in Singapore. From nothing, he built that island. If you want to know Lee Kuan Yew, you know him, of Singapore. And he has built an empire of a small island. So if you use your brain and you talk to people and you talk to technocrats and you build your economy, you get somewhere. The people in Zimbabwe have got brains, but they are working elsewhere. That is the simplest thing to do, but we are too selfish. And I don't know who thinks you can live out of corruption, because you get only trinkets. Everyone is asking for a coke every day. Can you run an institution on waiting for coke every time? Coke yangu iripi? Let's run a country. This country is rich enough. And it also needs professionals. When they are given jobs, they stop the nonsense.
Any more questions?
Apera.
Anyways,
maybe I was going out of place, but I just wanted to stress that we are one. We need you guys in the press. We need everybody. We need everyone. There is no real enemy. There's no need to go on. But what we are attacking, it must be stopped. And it must be stopped by all of us, not by me alone. You must stop me. What do you want to do when you fail to do this? I thank you.
Anyway, Maitabasa.